I don't know about other countries, but right now, China is definitely experiencing deflation, so much so that it's actually a problem. So let's talk about this. Do you want to know why China is facing such severe deflation? What's causing it? And just how serious is the deflation situation in China? If you'd like to support this video, you can do so via this QR code or support the Sci Money Monster channel easily by liking and sharing. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me, okay? That way you'll be sure to catch me next time. Sound good? This month, June 2025, China announced that inflation has gone negative, deflation, for the fourth month in a row. Negative inflation is what we call deflation. With deflation, it means prices for goods and stuff go down. Prices dropping might sound like a good thing, right? But actually it's not. That's because wages go down too. And when deflation drags on for a long time and prices keep dropping, it makes consumers less likely to spend. They just don't want to use their money as much. That's because why would you buy something today if you know it'll be cheaper next week? So people just don't buy, right? And that's how it turns into an economic problem in China, a cycle that keeps repeating itself. No matter how hard the Chinese government tries, they still haven't been able to fix the deflation issue. In this video, I'm going to show you what's causing deflation in China, why it's happening, and what possible trends or solutions might help China's deflation situation. So, will China be able to do it or not? To start with, if we want to see what China's deflation looks like, there are really two main indicators to look at. The inflation rate, which is the CPI, or Consumer Price Index. This chart here shows the prices of goods, things people need to buy, like food and daily necessities, how those prices are doing, and how much they've dropped. As we can see in this chart, the CPI has gone down. The CPI includes things like food, housing, and healthcare costs. Things like phone bills, clothing, and home decor are all included. And right now, it's at negative 0.1%. Now, aside from the CPI, which looks at consumer prices, there's another indicator called the PPI, or Producer Price Index. This one measures the cost of goods for factories and companies, basically how much they have to pay to import raw materials. We can see that the prices factories have to pay to produce goods are also in the negative. But as of October 2022, it's at negative 3.3%. This is the most deflationary it's been since July 2023. The first question is, why is China experiencing such severe deflation? It's because the finances of Chinese people, especially their savings, accumulated wealth, and investments for millions of people, have collapsed along with the real estate crisis in China, which started in 2023 and still hasn't improved. I've talked about this before. In the video about China's real estate crisis, I already explained this. When people's savings were wiped out along with the real estate crisis, it made everyone even more fearful. People became even less willing to spend or take money out to buy anything at all. To make matters worse, Chinese wages have also been suppressed, either kept from rising or, in some cases, even pushed lower. That's because, for large companies, the Chinese government can directly intervene and control them, making sure profit margins are as thin as possible. They do this to maintain their product prices at the lowest levels imaginable, so they can have a significant competitive advantage or a strategic edge when competing with foreign companies. And if they want to make profit margins even thinner, the most straightforward and simplest method available is to suppress wages. Another important factor that's making money tight is that the Chinese government can tightly control the value of the Chinese yuan. You can see right now that the DXY, or the dollar index, has weakened a lot, right? Since the start of 2025, the dollar has dropped, falling by 9%. The dollar is weak. Since the dollar is a currency that's compared to other currencies, when the dollar weakens, other currencies should get stronger. And that's exactly what's happened. Currencies like the Japanese yen, the euro, the Swedish krona, and the Taiwanese dollar have all strengthened. But the Chinese yuan hasn't gotten stronger. The yuan has only strengthened by just over 1%, even though the dollar has already weakened by 9%. If you want to understand more about the principles behind currency appreciation and depreciation, you can check out the video I explained earlier. If it's not the dollar, then who will dominate the world? I'll link to another video about that. In that video, I also mention how the United States has complained, saying that China is unfairly competing with its currency. Right now, China can control its currency, right? And the fact that the yuan hasn't strengthened that much, it's still relatively weak compared to other currencies at the moment, probably suits the Chinese government just fine. That's because the Chinese government wants to prioritize the export sector, which is now the #1 priority for the country. Because if the currency is weak, China can still have a competitive advantage in exports compared to other countries. But this is also one of the reasons why money is tight within China. Sure, the currency isn't strong, so exports are doing well. But on the flip side, when it comes to imports, it's tough. Consumers in general, industrial factories, and business operators, especially small and medium-sized ones who need to import goods, are affected by this. They have to deal with higher costs. So when the currency is weak, it basically means these people don't even have to do anything. They just end up poorer because they have to pay more to buy foreign goods, just like that. Honestly, even I feel uncomfortable just thinking about it. Like, if I had to be an importer and the currency kept getting weaker, whether the government is doing it on purpose or not, I'm not sure. It's possible the government is doing it intentionally, but if that's the case, I'd feel like, wow, we're just getting poorer. Just hearing about it makes me uncomfortable, right? So imagine being someone living in China. It might be even more uncomfortable there, because in China, even if you feel uncomfortable, you're not allowed to show it. Labor unions are illegal in China, you know? Another reason why China is experiencing deflation, why people don't have money to spend or don't feel like going out to buy things, is because of the way taxes are collected there. In China, taxes aren't mainly collected based on income rates. It might sound good, but instead they collect VAT. They tax consumption. So no matter what, no matter how much income you have, if you keep consuming, you still have to pay taxes. Everyone pays the same. There's no distinction. They don't care whether you earn a little or a lot. If you buy something, you pay that, just like everyone else. And since the tax system focuses on collecting that, which is a consumption tax, it means that the poorer you are, the less purchasing power you have. So can we say that China doesn't care about its people? Definitely not, because private consumption spending in China still makes up a large portion of the Chinese economy. In fact, consumption accounts for 39.9% of China's GDP. So no matter what, the government still has to pay attention to it. Domestic consumption, this is an internal factor. But what about external factors that are causing deflation in China? There definitely are some. One of the main reasons is the trade war that the United States has imposed on China. This is actually one of the key reasons why China is experiencing even more severe deflation. As I mentioned earlier, the Chinese government has been controlling large companies to make sure they produce as much as possible and sell as much as possible, but they have to sell at the lowest possible prices. As much as the government sets, that means these companies can't just set their own profit margins however they want. Their profits are razor thin, just as the government controls. The focus is on getting these companies to compete in the global market. But the government doesn't just control profits to keep them thin, they also provide support in various ways. And the support from the Chinese government is no joke. They're really serious about it, whether it's direct financial support or other forms of assistance. Or they offer big loans with low interest rates, special tax privileges, things like that. The companies that are China's champions in the global market include BYD, right, the EV industry, CATL, the battery industry, and so on. These are huge, powerful players. Besides that, there are also things like solar panels. These are the kinds of products that have been exported all over the world. And then the United States and Western countries said that China has way too much overcapacity, with the government supporting production and prices being ridiculously low, so low that it's just unfair competition. It got to the point where the US said, this can't go on, because people in our country can't make a living if Chinese products flood in like this. Europe is on the same page, right? That's how this full-blown trade war started. What happened is that the US, they imposed trade tariffs. Seriously, just this past April. The US government budget, suddenly jumped up from being deeply in deficit. Why? Because the import rate in the US dropped. In just 1 month, imports fell by about 20%, and most of that drop was from China. The result of this is that China, which usually a country with massive production capacity, right? Because China is known as the factory of the world. So China already has a huge production capacity. It hasn't decreased or gone anywhere. But since they can't export to the US like before, that means the goods they produce are left over, right? When there's a surplus, okay, they have to export to other countries. But most of these goods end up being forced to be sold within China itself. That is, they're selling to their own people, selling domestically. And like I mentioned before, Chinese citizens right now don't really have much money. So all those consumer goods that China used to export to the US now have to be sold back to the Chinese people themselves, including high-tech products that were intended to be high-quality goods and priced a bit higher. They have to bring those products back to sell in China, but Chinese consumers don't have the same purchasing power as Americans. So what companies have to do is lower their prices, cut prices. It turns into a price war, and the more they're forced to sell domestically, the more they have to keep lowering prices. This just makes deflation even worse. It's really simple. If you look at the EV industry right now, for example, the price war is fierce, with everyone slashing prices like crazy because they've produced way too much. Now everything is coming back into China again. This chronic deflation is making things even worse for China, especially as a country with a huge debt burden. If you want to know just how much debt China has, you can check out the video I made about China's debt. But it's not like the Chinese government is just sitting back and ignoring this massive debt problem. The government is actually using tools, financial tools to help stimulate the economy, like lowering loan interest rates. How does lowering loan interest rates stimulate the economy? Let me explain. If we lower the interest rates on loans, it means that people who want to borrow money can do so at a lower cost. This is supposed to encourage people to go out and spend money or start new businesses, things like that. But the thing is, but right now, lowering loan rates in China isn't really working that well because people in China are basically trying to stay afloat, drowning in debt. Most of their life savings were poured into real estate back when the property market was booming about 3 or 4 years ago, and they're still in debt. Some people bought homes when real estate prices were at an all-time high, and now they're stuck with those houses at the peak prices. But now China is experiencing deflation. Do you remember what deflation means? Deflation means that the prices of goods and products are dropping, and so are home prices. I'll show you just how much home prices in China have dropped. If you bought a house in 2016, wow, that's like being stuck on Mount Everest. Can we even call that a peak? Even if you bought in 2019 or 2021, if you bought around those years, you're really stuck at the top. And look, by now, prices have dropped by minus 3.5%. That means you're really stuck at the top. Seriously, this is just... Let's say you bought a house when prices were sky high, right? The house cost 10 million, you bought it for 10 million, and then you've been paying it off for 3 years. Turns out, okay, you've paid off $1 million, but the house price dropped from 10 million, now it might only be worth like 2 million. Whoa, the amount you've paid off is just $1 million, and the debt you still owe is 9 million. But the house you bought for 10 million is now only worth 2 million. What do? If you keep paying, you just feel like crying. You can't even sell it. Bought it for 10 million, but now if you sell, it's only worth 2 million. It's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't back out, but you can't keep going either. The price just crashed. And what's even worse, like really bad, is that for some people who are still paying, their house isn't even finished being built yet. The house isn't even done yet, and still, some people, like B, haven't even had their house construction started yet. They're basically paying for a paper house. So the government's move to lower loan interest rates isn't really working right now because people don't want to borrow money to do anything. They don't want to borrow to invest, to buy things, or to start a business. Right now, people just want to survive and get out from under their old debts first. And from everything you've just described, you can see why there's deflation in China. It's because millions of people don't have enough money to live a decent life. That's not to say there aren't any wealthy people. There are still people who are well off. There are still rich folks. It's not everyone. But the main issue for most people is overwhelming debt. And the biggest burden is mortgage debt, especially for those who are paying for a house on paper without even knowing if they'll ever actually get a real house built for them. And then the way the Chinese government collects taxes focuses on consumption taxes. They collect VAT without considering whether someone has a high or low income. If you consume, you pay the same VAT rate. Many companies are also controlled by the government, which squeezes profit margins to keep prices as low as possible so they can compete in the global market. But when profit margins are squeezed that thin, in the end, business owners have to push wages down. That's why wages in China don't go up. So if we look at the big picture and see that China is experiencing deflation because people just don't have enough money in their pockets, it means that if the Chinese government wants to introduce any kind of monetary policy to make the economy look a bit more robust or lively, it would have to be something that immediately puts more money into people's pockets, like emergency cash handouts. Or another good option would be a policy to reduce mortgage payments, which are really high and would require a massive budget. Or the third option, are there any welfare programs that could make people feel more secure? For example, providing healthcare benefits, retirement benefits, or things like that. Right now, it seems like China is extending the retirement age and also extending the period for paying out retirement benefits. If there are welfare programs like these that help people feel more at ease, it's possible that they'd be more willing to spend their savings. But if you look at the Chinese government's budget right now, it doesn't really seem like there's a surplus that could be used to stimulate the economy by pumping cash directly into people's pockets for an immediate economic boost. That's because China's government budget is currently running a deficit of 5.4%, which is quite significant. And if you compare China to the US, China has a deficit of 5.4%, while the US has a deficit of 6%. It's pretty close. And on top of that, one of China's main sources of income, exports, has been hit really hard. Like I mentioned earlier, right now, the US has reduced its imports from China by 20% in just 1 month. That's a chunk of China's global export market share that's just disappeared, which means lost revenue. And the top priority for the Chinese government right now doesn't really seem to be boosting domestic consumption. It looks like the Chinese government is leaning toward focusing on competition and exports, especially in high-tech sectors, because those areas still have the potential to generate massive income for China. But we'll have to wait and see whether high-tech products and industries can really support and sustain the entire Chinese economy. Still, for anyone interested in investing in China, you definitely can't overlook the domestic consumption sector, because since a significant and growing number of people are starting to feel like they're finding themselves increasingly short on liquid cash, this could eventually turn into a major economic vulnerability, or even a deep and growing wound for China in the future.